Sharon learns Sienna loves Noah. Recap. On today's The Young and the Restless recap. Sharon is chatting with Sienna at her house about Noah. She says Noah has learned at his father's knee the right way to treat people and sometimes feels the need to rescue folks. Sienna cops an attitude saying she is not a woman in need of rescue as she has always done it for herself. Sharon notes Noah was instrumental in her recent rescue. She thinks he won't back off as Sienna is clearly in need of protection from Matt. Sienna says Noah is stubborn, which is why she agreed to return with him to Genoa City. Sharon ignores her comment and says Victor and Nick have a plan to make sure Matt never hurts anyone ever again. Sienna knows they are powerful men with resources, but Mitch plays by his own rules. Sharon knows all too well and is certain Matt will be coming for her and Noah. She knows he is relentless and vicious and there is no telling where or when he will strike. Previous The Young and the Restless recap. The Newmans give Sienna a chilly welcome. Sharon makes mention of the life Noah had in London with a business and a girlfriend. Sienna says Noah wasn't happy with Allie and told her there was nothing left to salvage. Further, Allie never came to Los Angeles when Noah was in his accident. Sharon says she isn't judging anyone, but Sienna isn't so sure. Sharon defuses the situation, saying Sienna's strength was clearly developed over years of fighting battles, some lost and some won. Sharon wonders if Sienna wants that life for someone else. She pushes and asks Sienna if she's in love with her son. Her silence speaks volumes and then she admits it. Sharon leans in, saying, the idea of a woman like her being in love with her son bothers her to no end. What did you think of today's episode? Sound off in the comments and watch the video clip below. Keep checking back for the latest The Young and the Restless recaps. This story was originally published by Daytime Confidential on December 11, 2025, where it first appeared in the Young and the Restless section. Add Daytime Confidential as a preferred source by clicking here. Sharon had always believed she was good at reading people. She noticed the smallest change in tone, the barely there twitch at the corner of someone's mouth, the way an entire story could hide inside a breath someone didn't quite take. But somehow, despite all her self-proclaimed observational talents, she had completely missed the quiet hurricane building inside Sienna. That morning had started normally, too early sunshine, birds marauding the windowsill, and Sharon spilling coffee on her shirt like it was a morning ritual. Sienna had been on the couch, laptop balanced on her knees, pretending to work though she hadn't typed a word in 20 minutes. Sharon hadn't questioned it at the time. Now she wished she had. Because the recap of the day, this whole tangled emotional knot, really started when Noah showed up. 1. The day tilts. Noah always knocked twice. Once softly, once like he was afraid the door might break. Sienna jumped at the sound. Sharon saw that much, and then immediately smoothed her expression into something neutral. That should have been Sharon's first clue. Noah stepped inside, smiling the way he smiled at everyone, like the world was basically okay if they all just kept trying. His hair was a mess, but he wore it like he meant it. He greeted Sharon with his usual teasing. Did you wrestle the coffee machine again? Who won this time? Then turned to Sienna. And the room changed. It wasn't obvious. It wasn't dramatic. But Sharon felt it, something warm and flickering passing between them, something that belonged in a story she wasn't being told. Still, she brushed it off. She wasn't suspicious then. She didn't even think about it until much later, when all the missing pieces suddenly made a picture she couldn't ignore. For now, she just watched as Noah and Sienna discussed something about a group project, leaning close over Sienna's laptop. Sharon noticed how Sienna's hands trembled just slightly when Noah pointed to the screen. How she laughed too quickly at his jokes. How she kept stealing glances when she thought Sharon wasn't looking. But Sharon said nothing. She should have. 2. The accidental confession. It happened in the kitchen, of all places. Noah had left already. He had a meeting or lunch or something Sharon hadn't fully listened to. The apartment felt unusually quiet without him, like he had taken the ambient noise with him. Sienna had retreated into the kitchen, muttering something vague about tea. Sharon followed, unsettled by the lingering tension she couldn't name. Sienna was staring at the kettle like it had personally offended her. You okay? Sharon asked. Sienna's shoulders tensed. Fine. The kettle clicked on. A beat passed. Really? Sharon pressed. Sienna hesitated. Then, too fast, too sharp, she said, "It doesn't matter." That was the moment Sharon felt something cold unfurl in her stomach. "What doesn't?" she asked quietly. Sienna didn't answer. Instead, she bit her lip and blinked too many times. The kettle started its low, humming boil. Sharon waited. Finally, in a small voice that sounded like it had been kept locked away far too long, Sienna whispered, "Sharon, I think I love Noah." The kettle whistled immediately after, as if the universe had punctuated the confession with steam. Sharon didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't think. She just replayed the sentence, 6 simple words that rearranged everything she thought she knew. "I think I love Noah." 3. Silence, then everything. Sienna wouldn't look at her. She stared at her fingers instead, twisting them together. "I didn't want to say anything. I've been trying not to feel it. But today, I don't know. I just couldn't pretend anymore." Sharon exhaled slowly. "So that's why you've been acting weird." Sienna nodded, relieved and miserable at the same time. "Yeah. And you haven't told him?" "What? Absolutely not. I can't." "Why not?" Sienna gave her a look that held 1,000 complications. "Because it would ruin everything." Sharon considered that. Considered them, Sienna and Noah, a pair she had never realized might be more than she assumed. Part of her felt foolish for not seeing it sooner. Another part felt like the ground under her feet had shifted shape. "Does he know?" Sharon asked. "No," Sienna said too quickly. "No. I hope not." Sharon thought back to the way Noah had smiled at Sienna this morning. The warmth there. The softness. She wasn't sure Sienna was right about that. But she didn't say it. Not yet. 4. Questions with no easy answers. They sat at the kitchen table, untouched tea cooling between them. "What are you going to do?" Sharon asked. "I don't know," Sienna admitted. "He's my friend. You're my friend. I don't want to wreck anything." She paused. "And I don't even know if he feels anything back." "Do you want him to?" Sharon's question was gentle. Sienna swallowed. "Yes. But I don't know. I feel too much." Sharon nodded slowly. She understood that. Maybe not the specifics, but the overwhelm. For a moment, neither spoke. The apartment felt heavier, filled with the weight of truths finally spoken aloud. 5. What Sharon realizes. Later that evening, when Sienna went to her room to rest her brain, which Sharon suspected really meant spiral internally, Sharon remained at the table and thought. And the more she thought, the more the pieces clicked.